Hi, I'm Robin Schultz with the Hoover Channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll always know when we have a new video coming up.
Let's just see if they work right quick. No. Okay, so hold on just a moment. Try those now. No. Yes. No. Okay, try it now. Testing, testing. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to use that.
We'll talk loud.
That one works?
Testing.
Good deal. We'll go with these. Okay, thank you. Oh, you want to hand that other one and they'll have two over there. It's right there. Yeah, and that way they'll have two.
Testing.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. This is another one. Yeah, that's a nice one. Here's your first. You ready? Okay. All right. Let's call the meeting to order. This will be the work session for, in preparation for our Monday meeting. As you can see, we have a small crowd up here tonight. Just a reminder, this is for the benefit of the council. The work session is for us to ask questions and get prepared for the meeting on Monday. So the first item that we have after the payment of the bills and the minutes will be resolution number 8450-25. Ms. Dickerson?
There are no issues with this request from the department.
Okay, no issues with this from zoning or police. Do we have any questions? All right, we'll move along to resolutions number 8454-25 and 8455-25. Mr. Reeves?
Yes, ma'am. Official weather report, we're good this morning.
All right, thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. This is our annual 2024 MWPP annual report for our Inverness and River Chase wastewater treatment plant. Basically, this report is required by ADEM to make sure that our plants are maintained and operate within the current discharge limits. Both plants are functioning well and there are no issues.
Do you have any questions? Moving right along, Ms. Cornett, I think you're next. We have resolutions number 8453-25, 8452-25, and 8456-25.
Okay, so the first one is the grant, the tree grant, right? Is that what that is? The Trees for Alabama program?
Forestry Commission, yes.
Yes, I think Colin may want to tell you a little bit about what that program is, but it's a fully funded grant. So there's a budget amendment attached to it to receive the funds of $100,000 and make the funds available to spend. So it's 100% funded. You want wanna talk about what it is?
Sure. Got a plus or minus 8-acre parcel that separates Municipal Drive from I-459. It gives us an opportunity to reforest that land. It just improves aesthetics, environmental quality, and probably recreational experience. Money was allocated for disadvantaged areas, and the Lorna Road District happens to fall into one of those, so we were eligible for that funding.
Ms. Dickerson, if the resolution, I know you don't have the resolutions up, but there is an agreement associated with that grant. And so if that wording is not on there for permission to execute the agreement, if it is, that's good. I just want to make sure. Okay. Any questions on that item?
Any questions? All right.
The next item is the annual budget amendment that we do to true up the budget line items in preparation for the audit. So we consider this to be kind of a housekeeping item, but it is one of the last things that is done before we complete the annual report, which we still plan to have completed and ready to go by the end of May.
And with this, you're moving items from the general fund into the general fund among the other
Yes.
funds to get them in their right houses?
That's right,
Okay.
that's right.
Any questions, Ms. Cornell, on this one?
It does include some transfers, so I think I might have mentioned this in the report last time, but the goal with this also was to make sure we have no negative balance funds at the end of the year, so the things that exist outside of the general funds, some of our special revenues tend to run underwater, and then some of our internal service funds do too. And so this is to kind of clean this up and make sure we have positive balances in all of our fund balances.
Okay.
Were there any funds above and beyond what was budgeted?
Yes, that's the purpose of the budget.
But besides
amendment,
special
was to do
revenue,
that.
I guess.
Yes, so that, well, within the general fund, yes, there were within those general funds. We have several funds that make up the general fund that are 100 series of funds, so when you look at that list, you can kind of see all of the different things. But again, this is something that we typically do, maybe the month before we get the audit completed, because it's one of the last pieces that needs to be done.
Any other questions?
Okay, and then the next item is a request to sign another employment services agreement for Melissa Woods. As you might recall, she was a contractor for us, and it was part of the retaining institutional knowledge in the finance department, and she came back as a contractor. And then later, council, I came back and asked y'all to allow her to be a provisional employee, which limits her to a term of 6 months. So she came back for 6 months and worked full-time, and really was a big reason behind how we were able to kind of clean up some of the things and get back up to speed on our reconciliations. And her last day was yesterday. We were sad when she left. But this is just a renewal. Those contractor agreements, when you're trying to do that, are limited to 1 year. And so it's the same contract that we had before, just with the dates changed. And we have budgeted items. There's no additional budget to request for it. It's just permission to get her to come back and help us 1 day a week.
For another 6 months?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, for up to another year.
Another year?
She's subject to RSA limitations because she's retired, so that would run from May to the end of next April, so it would lap over the calendar year.
Okay. Any questions? All right. That's all,
I
thank you.
think that's it.
Mr. Pepper's coming up for resolution 8457-25.
Council. This is a rental agreement with the University of Alabama where we would rent 12 open gate metal detectors for use during the SEC baseball tournament.
Any questions?
Gotta have at least one.
Question, Mr. McClinton.
I don't see Auburn in here.
Alabama's a little closer, it's only 45 minutes, less travel time to get them delivered. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have some items that will be first reading on Monday. Mr. Martin will come up and tell us about those.
Good evening. The first item is a conditional use case heard by our planning commission in April for an artisanal beer and wine bar located at 3601 Market Street, Suite 101. I believe there was a bakery in that location previously, so this would be backfilling that space. Planning commission heard the case and brings to this body a positive recommendation for approval contingent on a couple of conditions. One, that the business would need to offer food service in line with the food service restaurant use classification. Secondly, that live entertainment would be limited to twice per month. Third, that no amplified sound would be permitted. Acoustic live entertainment would end by 8 p.m. Four, the business shall operate within the following hours. It will be Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday, noon to 8 p.m., and Monday, closed. And lastly, the business shall obtain a certificate of occupancy and a business license prior to opening. This property is located in the PC Plan Commercial District in the Ross Bridge PUD, and the comprehensive plan supports commercial development in the vicinity.
Questions?
What is that? How do you pronounce that? Artisanal?
Artisanal, something that I can't afford.
Oh, thank you very much.
I will say that at the Planning and Zoning Commission, it was significant to us to understand that there is already live acoustic entertainment allowed at the Front Porch Restaurant, which is right around the corner. That was something that we considered.
Also next door.
Also next door. Well, we couldn't confirm that it was at La Paz, but we speculated that they do also have it at La Paz.
That's right, and the owner, of course, we went through each of these conditions with them, and they were perfectly fine with these.
Any other questions? All right. Move to the next one, Mr. Martin.
All right, next item we have on the agenda is another conditional use application, this time for rental of golf cart, sales, service, and rental for golf carts located at 508 Mineral Trace. That is zoned PI, planned industrial, in the Trace Crossings Planned Unit Development. The Planning Commission heard this case in April as well and recommends approval contingent on the following. One, that the outdoor display of carts be limited to the impervious surfaces of the parking area. Two, outdoor display of carts shall not take up parking spaces required to meet the minimum parking criteria for the businesses located within this building. Thirdly, outdoor display of carts shall not block emergency response access. Four, the outdoor display of carts shall not be located in the right-of-way. Five, new dumpster enclosure would be required on the site. Number six, the landscape areas are to be retained. Seven, the site is required to meet the sign regulations of the Trace Crossings Planned Unit Development. And finally, the business shall obtain a certificate of occupancy and a business license prior to opening. Again, this is an industrial district within the Trace Crossings PUD, and commercial development is supported.
Mr. Martin, that was a long list of places they were not allowed to have the golf cart outside. Where are they allowed to have the golf cart outside?
So there is a portion of the parking area that they indicated to us where they would hope to have a singular line of these vehicles located during business hours. After business hours, it's their intent to take all the merchandise back into the building. At least that is what was communicated to us by the applicant.
Any other questions? No? All right, that's the last, there's one more item.
The last item is one that will be familiar to you. This is the conditional use application for the daycare group home located at 3599 Deerfield Drive. This is in an R1 single-family residential development. This was before you several months ago for consideration. However, it was determined at that time that they did not have all of their business licensing in place to be operating. That has since been remedied. They have both their certificate of occupancy for the business license as well as the business license itself in place. It was the request of the applicant to place this back on the agenda for your consideration.
And the fact that they have the certificate of occupancy, does that signify that all of the necessary inspections have been completed?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Doctor. Well, with that, the meeting is adjourned.